Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about the National Education Policy 2020. Hope you would have seen so many videos regarding the National Education Policy in the YouTube, but this one is most related to the students' perspective of National Education Policy or what is in store for the students. Because most of the National Education Policy related videos will highlight the policy aspects, but from the students' perspective, what should the students or the college goers should look for in the national education policy. Before that, we need to know what exactly national education policy is and how frequently the country is revisiting or revising the national education policy. National education policy is meant to revise or revamp the entire education policy of the country in lines with the global and the national requirements. But this has been done at a particular interval in the country. If you see this particular slide, the first education policy was introduced in 1968, and subsequently the second policy was introduced in 1986, and the third one was in 2020. You see the big gap between the revisions of the national policy. That itself is not good for a developing country like ours. We need to revisit our national education policy at frequent intervals in order to match with the requirements at the global level as well as the national level. In each of these educational policy, majorly they will be concentrating on the educational reforms. Such reforms also have taken place with respect to the National Education Policy 2020 also. The three major things on which the reforms have taken place are strengthening the foundational education, enhancing the opportunities, international opportunities for the students, and increasing the enrollment in the education system, as well as giving the flexibility to the students. So these are the areas that in which the education reforms have been applied in the National Education Policy 2020. Strengthening the foundation education is nothing but to focus on the foundational education starting from the school level till the college level. There, they just wanted to make sure that the school education is a wonderful experience for the students. At the same time, they wanted the students to learn something which is very much useful towards their career. And better international opportunities is where they want to align with the education system of the developed countries so that the students who are studying in this country would be able to get the better higher study opportunities in the developed countries at a later stage of their education. Increased enrollment is more about getting more students into the school and college education, and this can be achieved primarily through the flexibility that is given to the students, wherein the students are not able to continue their education at a single stretch, but they want to do it at after 2-3 breaks that may happen due to their constraints. I'm going to highlight some of the important things with respect to the national education policy, which will be of great benefit for the students. The first one is the academic bank of credits. This is a newly introduced term by the University Grants Commission for all the students who are undergoing the UG and PG programs. This is shortened as ABC. This is the ABC of this new education policy because this is going to play a vital role for the students who would like to discontinue their studies in the midway to pursue their dream or the passion, and then they wanted to continue later at a particular point of time, or they can redeem all the credits that they have earned over the period of time towards not even the degree, towards a certificate or a diploma that I'm going to tell you in detail. But this academic bank of credits is more like a typical banking system wherein the students who are studying in various colleges and universities across the country, they will be getting their credits that they earn over the semesters to be stored in the academic bank. So for this, the students have to create a credit account. They need to store the credits as and when they complete a course and appear for the exam and get their results, and the credits, subsequent credits, will be entered into this academic bank. And once the student feels that I'm not going to continue the education further, or once the student feels that I need to take a break now, then the student can break in between and they can go and pursue their dream. And then once they get back, either they want to continue or they want to redeem their existing credits which are there in the bank towards whatever eligible option that they get, either in the form of their diploma or a degree or a certificate. The second important aspect of this National Education Policy 2020 is this multiple entry and multiple exit. You might have heard this term multiple entry and multiple exit, but let me tell you what exit means. Usually, a student who is joining a college exits in two scenarios. One is after the completion of the degree program, or in between due to their financial or any health related issues. So, exit happening due to the financial or health related issues would cause a huge burden to the students, because if a student is undergoing a 4 year or 3 year program and if they quit after the first year, they will be brought back to the same eligibility of class 12th, as whatever they have done in the first year of study will not be considered anywhere. This is a great loss to the students because they have spent 1 year of their time and money, but they are not gaining anything else. So, this multi exit will greatly help the students, as their credits that they have earned is getting stored in the academic bank. They are not going to lose anything, rather, they are going to exit for their personal reason, and the credits remains safe in the academic bank. And whenever they want to continue further their studies, then they may enter into the system and they may take the previous credits and continue acquiring more credits towards redeeming the same for the issue of a degree, certificate, or a diploma. So, this is what multiple entry and multiple exit is all about. And it is not just the single degree that the student is going to get, there are multiple varieties of options which are available to the students who would like to quit in between, or who would like to enter into the system again, even though they have graduated sometime in the past. If they want to enter into the system and they want to just do the study for a year's time instead of studying for 2 years or 3 years, they can do that and they can go with a certificate in addition to their existing degree. Or a student who is enrolling for his first degree program, if he or she wants to exit after the first year of study, they will be getting a certificate. After the second year of study, they will be getting a diploma. After the third year of study, if they exit, they will be getting a degree. And once they complete all the 4 years, they will be getting the honors. But you may ask a question, what about those engineering students who are already doing 4 years of study? Do they have to do 5 years of study? It's not like that. Right now, under this new education policy, the AACT and other bodies like the Law Council, Bar Council of India, and Pharmacy Council of India, all these people have not come out with a concrete decision on whether the engineering, pharmacy, architecture, law, these kind of education are applicable under this multiple exit program or not. But right now, since it has been initiated by the UGC, this is applicable for all the programs other than these four which I have mentioned. So this is applicable primarily for 3 year programs which are running across the science and the management streams, right? So here, after a year, the student will be getting a certificate, as I told you before, and after 2 years, a diploma, after 3 years, a degree, and after 4 years, the honors. So by this, all the programs are going to be a 4 year program. All the 3 year programs that were offered by different institutes and universities are going to be a 4 year program hereafter, where the fourth year is optional for the students. You may get a question like, why the 3 year programs are to be converted into a 4 year program? The reason being, when the student wants to go and pursue the higher studies abroad, higher studies which are offered in the form of Master of Science are only available for the students who have completed their class 12th and completed 4 years of study. When all these science stream courses in India are of 3 years, the students who have completed their basic science course or the Bachelor of Science course in India will not be getting an opportunity to do higher studies abroad. For this purpose only, they have introduced the fourth year of study, which will be useful for the students who wish to pursue higher studies abroad. But the question that may come to your mind additionally is, why should a student exit and re-enter? I have already told you about this in the previous slide, but still I am insisting. If a student feels that while doing the course of study if the student is coming out with an innovative idea. Sorry to say, in none of the institutes across the country, or very few institutes across the country only, which is encouraging the students to be innovative, the student is coming out with some innovative idea during the course of study. Otherwise, in majority of the cases, the student wish to complete their studies. Even a 3-date scene can remind you a student who is willing to do a project of his own is forced to submit the project as the deadline is approaching. This is the kind of situation in India. In order to break that only, this multiple entry and exit option has been introduced. If a student is innovative enough to create something new and he don't want to be pressurized by the education system to complete the education at a stretch, that time he can exit for the time being and pursue whatever the passion that he or she has got, and then think of continuing the education further or to go ahead pursuing their passion, because this credits which are going to be there in the bank is going to have a shelf life. It is going to be for 5 to 7 years of shelf life that the student can utilize in order to get back and continue from the place where they have left. And also, this slide is showing the flexibility in the post graduation also. Students who are undergoing post graduation, usually they do it for 2 years. But what if the student wants to do post graduation along with the undergraduation? Then it will be an integrated one that will greatly help the student to save an year's time. Similarly, if a student enrolled for the post graduation studies wants to leave after the first year of the post graduation, they will be getting a postgraduate diploma certificate. And if they complete 2 years of post graduation, they will be getting a postgraduate degree. How they have categorized all these things is based on the levels. As you can see in this slide, level 1 is for 36 to 40 credits. Level 1 is what I told you earlier, first year of study of an undergraduate program. After 12th, if the student is enrolling for the first year of study in the undergraduate program, it is level 1, wherein the student has to acquire 36 to 40 credits. That 36 to 40 credits, if the student has acquired and he wants to quit, he will be getting a certificate. But if the student don't want to quit, he just want to take a break and he wants to pursue his passion, and then he want to continue further, that 36 to 40 credits that he has earned will always be there in the bank, academic bank. So once the student return back to the continue the education, either he can continue or he can redeem that 36 to 40 credits towards the certificate. Once he has taken a certificate, again if he wants to do something, the same credits cannot be used because it would have been already exhausted, and the student would have got a degree or a certificate in his hand. So in order to continue his education further, he should start acquiring the credits again. So that time he needs to enroll for another program and start acquiring the credits. So this way the student can go from one level to the other level, by which the student has the flexibility to drop or exit at any point of time in undergraduate as well as postgraduate program. So these levels indicate that. And most important thing is career categories. Why I have highlighted this career categories here is the reason for the student breaking or the reason for the student to continue their studies is primarily because of the career option that the student is having. Assuming the student is from a poor family and he does not have his father who is the breadwinner of the family, and he is undergoing the studies and he suddenly wants to quit and start working in order to safeguard his family, at the same time to create the income that is needed for him to continue his studies. In that case, he may be choosing employability as the career option. Because that he has chosen employability as the career option, he should not lose the fruit of education in his life. For some time, he may do that employability that he has got with respect to the knowledge that he has gained in the first year of study, but that may not give him the better fortune. But for time being, the student may be able to do something and earn the necessary income for the family. But after some time, once he is self-sufficient, he would like to continue, then he may continue further the education, so that in the near future, if he is interested to go for higher studies, he may continue and complete the entire degree and enroll for the PG program and continue with the research. Similarly, the case is with the students who wants to become an entrepreneur. After the first year or second year of study, after having learned good number of things with respect to their program of study, if they come out with some innovative idea and they want to try something immediately, then they can stop their studies, they can exit, and they can go for their entrepreneurship venture and try to become successful in that, and then get back and redeem their credits which is available, or to continue further in order to get the degree. So the ultimate purpose for which this this national education policy was introduced is to allow the students to pursue their passion, which was not possible earlier. We have seen a lot of students, lot of youngsters who missed their career opportunity primarily because of the lack of resources or lack of the financial freedom that they have. So this particular new education policy was brought in to the students to pursue their passion without having to worry about the academics. And another interesting fact with respect to this new education policy is the concept of liberal education. I'll make a separate video on this liberal education, but for time being, let me tell you what exactly liberal education is all about. Many a times, students who are studying 40 to 50 subjects towards the graduation requirement might have felt, why I have studied all these subjects? Some of the subjects that I can recollect these days were not so much useful to the work that I am doing presently. In that case, is there any option for the students to decide what subjects they should study? It is not usually given. Even if it is given to the students, it is given in the form of electives. But what is the case of electives in most of the institutes? Based on the availability of the teachers, the elective will be decided by the institute, and it will be forced upon the students. So that elective is also not given a wide variety of choice for the students to choose from. But liberal education is a concept wherein the student can choose the list of subjects that they want to study right from the scratch. Every subject is going to be an elective for you. The biggest advantage of this is the student can create their own curriculum. But how is it going to be useful for the students? How is it going to be helpful for the students? That and all I'll talk to you separately in a slide. So this will be a bold move for any student who's daring and who is very clear about what they want to become, so that they can choose the list of subjects exactly according to their requirement. The biggest advantage here is students, whatever subjects they pick, they cannot say that this subject is not useful for them, because it is the very own students who is going to pick the subjects for themselves. So they can decide whatever subjects are going to be helpful for them are only studied by them, and they are not being forced to choose any subjects. But there is a slight drawback. I won't say it as a drawback, but as per our mentality, we think of it as a drawback, because the degree that you will be awarded will not have a title. For example, if other students are given a degree of BSc of Computer Science, you will be given Bachelor of Liberal Education, BLE. That won't affect in a big way, because these days majority of the companies don't see what degree you are having or where you have taken the degree from. All they expect is the kind of skill sets that are required for the student to be successful in the company. So this is going to be a boon for the students who are dynamic, who are innovative, who want some kind of academic freedom. And this is the right kind of education system that is going to boost the opportunities for the students in the near future. And another thing is that while choosing the subjects, it is not mandatory you have to choose all the subjects from the same institute. Do you believe that? Yes, it is going to happen. All the institutes which are taking part in the National Education Policy 2020 Academic Bank of Credits, they should allow the students to choose the subjects from different institutes across the country. How is it possible? Usually, when you buy a ticket and go to the theater, you are forced to buy the popcorn from the same theater. You may like the ambience of the theater, you may like the film, but you don't want to buy the popcorn from that theater. But still, you are forced to do that because they are not allowing you to take anything else from outside. Imagine they allow you to order in Swiggy when you are in the theater. How wonderful it will be. right? The same way, you are going to study the subjects from across the country from different institutes, elite institutes as well. This is possible through this new education policy, wherein they advise the institutes to allow the students to the tune of taking 50% of the subjects from other institutes from across the country. So this will greatly benefit the students in choosing the best subject which is being offered across the country, and build their curriculum, right? So in this particular case, only thing the institute has to do is that they need to tell what subjects the students have to undergo, how many credits they have to earn, if it is a degree that is to be issued with a title. In that case, student has to just ensure the similar subject is taken from some other university with similar credits, so that it won't affect the minimum credit requirement of the student with respect to that particular program. If it is liberal education, you are free to choose one course from each university from different parts of the country and study it online, because this 50% of the course you need not have to physically go to the other institutes and study. You can take these courses from the online platform itself. It has not been implemented to a greater extent as of now, but time is there for the institutes to think, brainstorm, and implement it in an effective way, so that the students who are about to enroll into this education system in the near future will greatly get benefited out of this. So, what the colleges has to offer with respect to the new education policy, or what you have to look out for the colleges that you choose in order to avail all these benefits. The colleges and universities must have enrolled for the national education policy implementation. That is the most important thing. They should have enrolled for the academic bank of credit scheme. Earlier, this scheme was open only to the institutes who are in the top rankings, top 100 rankings. But very recently, the government has given an amendment saying that institutes, any institute in the country, is open to choose this enrollment into this national education policy and the academic bank of credits. And second thing that you need to expect from the institute is that the institute should allow you to register for the subjects from the other institutes, right? Because this registration of courses from the other institutes is possible only when the institute is offering their courses to other institutes, as well as allowing their students to take the courses from the other institutes as well. Moreover, the institute or the university should have it in their academic council that the courses that are equivalent and taken from the other universities are also being considered towards the credit requirement of the students. Also, student can do a specific course from another university based on the rating given by the peers. Whenever you are choosing the course from the other institute, how do you choose it? You choose it by the rating given by the students, right? So that is the best way to identify which course is best in which university. Altogether, you have to do 50% of the course mandatorily from the host university or the university in which you take the admission. The remaining courses are open to choose from wide variety of institutes from across the country. So all the higher education institutes which are adopting this academic bank of credits and new education policy must allow the students to register the course from across the university, across the institutes. They need to highlight clearly the course requirements for the students in advance, so that the students can decide which courses they can take in the host university and which courses they can take from the other universities. And also, there should be a provision for the students to allow the students to take interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary courses under different categories like electives, open electives, management elective, etc. And all these courses that the student takes from the other universities should be considered due credits. And when the student is going to move from one university to another university, whatever credits that they have earned as a part of that program of study, like BSc Computer Science or something, should be treated the same way by the university to which the student is moving to. Otherwise, the student have to lose some of the credits even though they have done those subjects, as they may not be relevant for the BSc program of another university. So all these things you need to take care of, so that the student does not face any problem at any stage because of taking the subjects from different institutes. Higher education who are enrolling for this scheme, ABC scheme, will enable the students to build their degrees. So this is what I told you. They will allow you to choose wide variety of courses from across the country, but the only thing is that they will restrict you to do certain set of courses mandatorily in order to get a degree with a specific title. That must be ensured. So you need to be very careful as a student to see to that, like what are all the requirements which are there for a specific degree program. You need to cater it by taking up a similar or same course from any other university with the due approval of the host institute.